guys in college athletics. Just because I know you guys went to VU. So what was your recruiting process kind of like?
So mine was kind of interesting. I got like screwed over by my old travel ball coaches. So like I kind of got like blacklisted from like D1s.
Oh.
Yeah. So I ended up just emailing all the D2 schools in Virginia, North Carolina, and Maryland to see like, hey, do you have a spot open? Because by that time it was my senior year, so I needed to hurry up and find something. Yeah. So like about half of the schools got back to me, but then Union, they saw my stats and they were like, why are you not recruiting?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then I just took it toward.
Can I ask what happened with your old coach?
Ooh.
Or is that like tough subject?
I would just say, favoritism is very real, right? Yeah, so a lot of the coaches, they put their daughters over the whole team.
Oh yeah.
So in that, like, he basically like lied about my stats to make his daughter look better.
Oh my god.
So
what?
To college coaches, so.
But that caused you to be blacklisted?
Yeah, because they talk like, so for example, my old coach was like, yeah, Ari doesn't go to practice.
Oh no.
She can't, her hitting stats aren't this, or she can't, her fielding stats need to be brought up like this.
Yeah.
Because like I actually talked to a college coach. I was like, hey, like asking them like about any spots that they had, and they were like, well, we heard like this from your coach, and like we're not liking that. So
I
remember you told me.
Yeah, that was traumatizing.
Oh, and you played in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like for travel ball, or just like
for travel ball.
Oh, I played everywhere for travel ball.
Oh,
so I played like Cali, Colorado, Florida, all up and down the East Coast too.
So you were on a national team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely a travel team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because even now it's pretty much split between regional and national. Like I used to be on a regional team, and then last 3 years I've been on a national team. So it's like the recruiting for both is just very, very different. Like one, you get way more looks than the other, and I think that's like literally what recruiting's all about now. So, what about you, Coach Simon?
Unfortunately, my story's kind of similar. I went to a rural high school though, in the country. We don't really get many looks.
Yeah.
We don't have a recruiting coach. I stopped playing travel ball, I think, freshman year of high school. So that really like cut out a lot of looks. I didn't go to any showcases, so they really couldn't see what I had to offer. But I really had to put myself out there. Like my dad and I had to email every coach, like she said. We only did Virginia and North Carolina. I think I did Howard.
Oh yeah.
That was about it. But yeah, we had to really put ourselves out there. I had to ask my coach senior year, I think it was like April.
Oh wow.
I was like, I need to make a video to send to these coaches because I'm not getting any looks. Like I had top stats. I was, I think, first team on district, state, region, but from where we come from, it's so small.
Right.
Nobody looks at you.
Right.
So I had to email everyone. Similar thing happened in Union. The coach saw my stats. She was like, okay.
Yeah.
I like it. And then I got an offer, even though D3 doesn't really give offers, but Mary Baldwin, they saw that I was doing well in softball and in the classroom. So they were like, we can give you money for academics and for softball. You want to come here?
Okay.
So it's just between a D3 and Virginia Union, which was obviously D2, which I picked over to D3. But yeah, it's really hard if you really don't have anyone pushing to get you out there. You have to do it all by yourself.
I've honestly never, like, your story is pretty unique to me because I've never heard of anybody getting recruited not playing travel ball. Because I feel like, like basketball, other sports are like very school based. But softball is like one of the things where it's completely outside.
Yeah, I really had to like get on the phone, email, send videos. I had some stats from travel, but yeah, I really just had to go based off high school. I think I had like no errors that really like a couple of my stats stood out to where they looked. But yeah, it was pretty hard.
Did it work the same way? Like college coaches come to your school games?
Oh, yeah, she came to I think we played Colonial Heights one year, and the Virginia Union coach came and watched me play up here.
Oh wow.
And Petersburg.
Yeah.
She watched me play, so she was able to see in person.
Okay. Are a lot of your teammates, do they have similar stories, or did they get recruited the more like traditional way?
Usually the more traditional way.
Okay.
Yeah. So like Virginia Union like recruits a lot of local players. Like they tend to not like recruit outside of Virginia.
Okay.
If a lot of players are outside of Virginia, they reached out like for Union. Like for example, or their legacy. Their parents went to Union, or they wanted to become a part of any organization at HBCU. So that's kind of like what attracts them to UU.
Yeah, I think our teammates are pretty local. We only had like a couple from like Cali, Georgia, but everywhere else they were all from Virginia.
Okay.
Like everybody else.
Okay. And I was gonna say, like, especially at practices, like when we see the VU team, I know it's an HBCU, but like it's majority white now. So I feel like I feel like we had a
Great
conversation about this, but
Great topic.
but like, what's happening to HBCUs now, especially with like softball?
I guess I'll start with this one.
Yeah.
So, softball we all know is a predominantly white sport,
Yes.
right? Very white dominated. So it's all about your coaching and what they like, your coaches and what they value.
Right.
So we just got one of our new coaches, and she's white, and she may not
she
value.
played with you guys.
Yes.
She was our teammate.
She,
Close friend.
yeah. I'm not gonna say what she believes it or not, but like.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't take the HBCU
Yeah.
aspect of the school and puts it into like her recruiting aspect.
Yeah.
You know, so like if I was coaching, I'd want to recruit a lot of black women, because we're in softball we are discriminated against too, and you know, like it's real.
Any minority,
And,
really.
yeah, any like black players or any minority players, to give them an opportunity to shine.
Right.
So if you don't have a coach that values that at the HBCU, you know, you get what you get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, piggyback off that. I think it's really the coach. I know my freshman year, I think we only had maybe 2 that were non-black, and it was an eye opener because I went to a high school where I was the only black girl on the team.
Me too.
Since I was like 4 years old, it was probably like 2 of us.
Wow.
So coming in Union was like a culture shock. Like,
Yeah.
wow, I've never played with this many
Yeah.
people before. I never did these cheers. Like, we're saying, we're not even cheering. It was an eye opener. But then, like, as the season went on and we did get new coaching, there was a big shift.
Okay.
And not only did we notice, all the athletics noticed.
Okay.
Because, you know, that's kind of, I'm not going to say that's what HBCU is made for, but that's kind of what you want to keep traditionally going, is keeping the, you know, minority or the African American. Because like she said, there are not many of us in softball at all.
Right, absolutely.
So.
And is this something like that was just softball, or was this like college athletics at VEU in general?
Really just softball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every other sport. Of course, we had a couple, you know, on the football team, the volleyball team.
Yeah.
But it was, if there were any non-black, it was maybe like 2 or 3. It wasn't 85% of the team.
Yeah.
So it's 85% right now?
This year
is probably 90.
Oh my
That's
god.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Wow. And do you know why? I mean, is she just recruiting white people versus?
Well, I'm not gonna say she's
know.
just recruiting white people because she doesn't want black people on the team.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I'm just saying it's easier to find like white talent. You know.
Because not a lot of us, especially locally, you saw the teams we played.
Yeah.
You know, in Richmond, it's not a lot of
like college level worthy.
Right.
That she has to look outward. Like, she's looking very local, and local, you're not gonna find much. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
was
think
it?
that's really.
I mean, I guess like, are most of the people now reaching out to her, or is there some sort of, I don't know if you guys would know this or not, but like, what's the balance like now?
Usually coaches are going to tournaments and recruiting players.
Yeah.
Okay.
But however, like, I feel like it's equal effort.
Yeah.
You know, because like when I was before college, I was emailing coaches every week.
Right.
You know, like
Copy and paste.
trying to see, can you come to my game? Can you come to this tournament?
Yeah.
I'm coming to your camp. You know, making like trying to just get my name in their head.
Yeah.
So I think it's about an equal effort.
Okay.
And I think right now she has, at least when we were there too, if we know girls that we played with, you know, we'll put a bug in the coach's ear, like, hey. So I think she's getting a lot of that too, because a lot of them are from the same area. At least from what I saw.
What area? In Virginia?
Yeah.
Where?
I know she got a couple from where I'm from.
You said Southampton.
They're like around the corner, like Mecklenburg. She got a couple from there. Or if people's siblings or travel ball, you know, teammates played, she'll bring them. So,
Okay. So I guess like my next question to you was, if you went through the recruiting process again, what would you do differently or like the same? Or like, what would you recommend?
I would definitely say, for me, I would have kept playing travel ball. But, you know, that was out of my control. That was my parents' decision. You know, it was very expensive.
Yeah.
And the team I played for, we stopped playing. They ended the team and they branched out to a whole nother city, which was too far. Yeah. So, but I would say I would definitely play travel ball a little longer. I would have reached out earlier because Howard definitely told me they had a spot for me, but all the money was gone. So it was really, you got to reach out sophomore, junior year. Do not wait till senior year. That was my biggest problem.
I honestly say earlier. Because right
now,
like,
for sure.
Everything's become so much more competitive. Like, college coaches already know who they want. Like, honestly, like 8th grade, even though they can't like reach out till summer before junior year, it's just like people know what they want.
Yeah, back when we were younger, they were actually committing in 8th grade.
Yes.
And
Are
so
you serious?
Yes.
So if you weren't recruited by 9th grade, 10th grade for D1,
you're not
it was
getting
rats.
I think that's better though. I think that's,
you think so?
Yeah, because like now you get, I mean yes and no, because you get to see who you have, or like you get to like know where coaches are looking ahead of time. So like now you're not like, because right now like me emailing coaches, sometimes when they don't respond, it's like you're emailing to a black hole. So it's like you have no idea what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But then if you like have commits already, then you know what people are looking for, you know? So I guess in that way, but I mean it definitely gives you more time if you commit in junior year. So yeah, that's a big thing. But I guess another aspect looking back, why did you guys come into coaching after playing at BU?
For me, I just wanted to try it out. I was never confident like in my coaching skills, so I was like, okay. It's like for me, I'm a player. Like I don't like to tell it's hard for me to tell you things like because I'm like the way I do it, I kind of like really like I just happen to be like naturally talented. Accompanied with skill, right? But like me telling you what to do is very hard because like I do my own thing.
Right.
So when Coach Diamond said, hey, like you want to come on, try it out this year, and I was like, sure, why not?
I mean, being on the team for BU as a senior, did you guys ever like coach the freshmen up or anything like that?
The freshmen didn't want to be coached.
I can say we attempted when they first got there. Not even the freshmen, just any people that transferred in.
Yeah.
We kind of took them under our wing. We took them bowling. We took them out. We tried to be
Team
the big
bonding.
sister.
Right.
But then once the season started, I can't say in college and as females, there will be a shift when it comes to playing time or things of that nature. Coming from a school, I guess some of them started, and then you come to college as a freshman, you may sit the bench. They didn't really agree with that. So that does cause a bit of a
rift.
Yes, but
I mean, did seniority bring politics into the team a lot?
I hate to say yes, but it wasn't even because we were seniors. Like I feel like if I was a junior older than them, it would have been a rift. Only off of, I don't want to say athleticism. That makes it sound bad.
I mean
to be fair,
skill set. It really was. But it just so happened that we were seniors. And we were a little better at some areas than them. So it did cause a issue.
But also like experience, like just like
in college,
being comfortable with VUU in general, because it's a community, right? Is there a lot of stuff outside of softball?
Oh, for sure. Then that's the reason why I never regret my decision to go to uni. Just because I'm like, I could have definitely played at a better school. I did have other offers. But this is where the money was at. That's what I'm saying. Off record, don't overlook D2. Because D2 is really where the money is at. But wait, what was the original topic? Sorry. HBCU. Oh yes. So I was really big on academics first. So I was a physics major, math minor. I was AKA physics club president. So like
my teachers are AKA.
Really? Nice. So it was really big for me. Like, I was everywhere. I would, and the good thing about like being at a D2 school where like the schedule isn't as like rigorous, I can go to conferences, I can present my STEM presentations and miss a practice or something. I never miss games, but I missed like a few practices because I was my coach valued what I had going on. So
student athlete, student before athlete. They definitely allowed that. I was AirPodding at practice in class. They allowed it. Like they really student.
Wait, what do you mean AirPodding?
I had class at practice, so
really?
I would be in my classes while I'm practicing at the same time. Phone will be propped up in the dugout, and I'll be in a lecture while I'm playing center field.
That's like impressive, Coach Diamond. I respect that. I respect the hustle.
If the coach is giving you money to get your master's, and the school is giving you money to get your master's, you gotta do your job. I felt like it was a job, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't like I hated being there. I loved the HBCU experience for sure.
Was it ever like you wanted to just play softball in college so you could get your education covered, or was it like a passion too? Or, I mean, did it ever become something that was kind of like, oh, I just need to get this done?
That's a great question.
I feel like for me it was a mix of both.
Yeah.
Because like for me, like my family was not funding my college. It was all 100% purely through me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed softball, but like if I didn't have to play and I could focus on education, I would do that.
Yeah.
Like and if I got a full scholarship for school,
yeah.
Like I love softball, but like
yeah.
I could have done a lot more things if
Yeah.
softball didn't occupy my time.
Right.
That's not taking away from how much I do like the sport.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
there's
don't
so
you get so many contacts from softball? Like just being on a collegiate team.
What do you mean, like contacts?
Like the school puts you in situations that like you can meet cool people, or like you can meet people that could like potentially give you jobs in the future. Does it not set you up?
I wouldn't say softball at our school particularly, but basketball at our school and football.
Okay.
When they have like the conference or the championship or things like that, they actually have a week where they're wherever the championship is. Let's say Baltimore.
Okay.
And they'll have a conference so you can network while you're there.
Yeah.
Softball really isn't a sport at our school that does that. It's more the sports that bring the money, the revenue. So basketball, football, they really have good connects. Softball, I wouldn't say I had any good connects. Just at our school. It may be at other schools, it may be different, of course, if softball is a major sport there.
Yeah.
But I feel like softball was such a smaller sport at our school that really was
overlooked.
Then we really didn't get much connects.
So you guys think you could have done more like networking if you weren't on the softball team? Like you just had more time?
I feel like I still kind of networked because, like Ari said, we took academics very seriously.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Yeah.
I went to a couple conventions, not as much as you, but I definitely presented.
Cooking it up.
Yeah, she was working every day.
Yeah.
I definitely went to a bunch of STEM conferences or anything that we had presentations. I presented a couple times, and that's where I got my connections on the academic side.
Okay.
A lot of my professors. And the way Union is, the class sizes are so small.
Yeah.
I could text a professor right now that I had years ago, and they'll remember me, and they'll text you.
Same.
So it was so close knit to the fact that like my professors were my connects. They were the ones who like, hey, you should go to this convention this week, or you should present this paper, or publish this internship. Yes.
Okay.
So my connect was on the academic. It wasn't on the athletic side.
Okay.
I would say like the only connects we probably got on the athletic side was just like coaching connect. Like just like
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing.
So you didn't like you guys were pretty competitive when you were there.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yes.
So it didn't bring in a lot of money for the school.
Our games were free.
Yeah.
So we're not bringing.
Then why didn't they just ticket the games? If
no one would.
No one would come.
And unfortunately, our record. Softball at Union, the record has not been well. Like a winning team.
Yeah.
We've always been. I wouldn't say losing.
The best we've done is split the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we haven't really. When you win games, that brings more attention to the school.
Yeah.
Like the basketball team were like back to back champions.
Right.
So if we were to start winning, I feel like we'll get more attention.
Yeah.
So I think that was the issue there.
And also just going to a HBCU and softball being, not really a predominantly black sport.
Right.
People don't know, or don't really care to go out to the game.
So is there just, not a lot of, publicity for softball?
No. We had to make our own, like, you guys have the softball page?
Yeah.
We had to make our page. We had to make posts, we have a game, or if you're, I wouldn't say well-known around campus, but if you have friends around campus, we would tell them, like, hey, we have a game, you guys should come out. We've had support from other athletic teams. Football team would come out and watch. Some of our professors would come out and watch, but it's really us putting ourselves out there. It really wasn't well-known.
So is the softball circle kind of its own group at VU, or is it pretty intertwined?
At a time, I feel like it was. When my freshman and sophomore year, it was very tight knit. I feel like.
Okay, yeah. That's what we were like at Maggie Walker too. Just because, like in the school, it's like Maggie Walker is so small. It's like VU. That like it's definitely split based on sport. Like as I came in freshman year, I played volleyball just to like have people going in, you know, and it kind of like stayed in those groups until like you went to the next season, and then you would meet more people. So it was like. Maggie Walker is definitely the same way where it like gets split up by the season. So I was wondering if VU's
they definitely knew who was on the softball team and who was on each team. But like just the HBCU vibe and the experience, like everything's so intertwined and everyone's so it's like a family. Like So everyone knows everyone pretty much.
Okay.
But they do know you play a sport.
Yeah, I think really 85% of the school were athletes.
Oh,
I feel like if you went to Union, it was to play a sport or to join an organization or to be a
what type
pastor.
of organization?
Greek organization.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But I really feel like most of us were athletes.
Yeah.
So the campus was always together. The football team, the basketball team, volleyball, like we all at some point were together because it was such a family.
Honestly, it's pretty impressive to be in a sorority and play the sport because I feel like in most schools you can't. So I mean, how'd you do it? Because I feel like that's a big time commitment on both ends.
It for sure is. Like that's why I say I'm like.
And you're presenting papers.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I was very motivated.
I
I was very motivated because I knew like there's really nothing after this for softball, right? So I had to set myself up and put myself in the best position to succeed in life.
Yeah.
So and I was always ingrained in me as a child, but like I keep saying, like D2 is where it's at because like the time schedule is not as rigorous, so you have time to do other things.
Yeah.
And like I got initiated during like COVID, so we weren't playing that time, so that made it a little bit easier.
Okay.
But like I just made them like work around my schedule. Hey, I can't make this meeting. I have practice or I have games. Sometimes I didn't understand it because I'm like, I used to get backlash. You go to softball practice, you can get this meeting. This is what pays for my schedule. This is me doing this voluntarily. So I'm gonna show up here when I want to. But for the most part, they worked very well with me, and I was able to get some things accomplished. So.
Do you have to pay to rush at HPC?
Yeah. That's everywhere. So.
Okay.
But not as much as like the PWIs though.
There
it's
I was gonna say,
thousands and
Alabama,
thousands now.
Yeah.
No.
But at least you like get housing and stuff for sorority too, right?
Not the HBCUs.
Oh, really?
The Black Greek letter organizations don't really have housing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the differences?
Ours is like lifelong membership.
Okay.
So it's not just after college. It's really like, I mean, Black Greek letter organizations were founded during like civil rights era and times where like Black people were had a lot of hardship. So we weren't allowed in the white fraternities and sororities. So like these were basically founded. So like it's a rich history. I would say like sisterhood is very different from what's like the
big sis, little sis.
Yeah, like compared to like the other PWI like fraternities and sororities. I think like we take it a lot more serious. Yeah, we're really big on community service. And
so like you're always gonna have those connects.
Always.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. Like I'm like there's grad chapters. I still have to join one, but there's grad chapters where I meet older members and we network like that. Like that's how I got my current job through someone in my sorority. So
and if you just like go up to somebody and be like, oh, I'm an AKA, I feel like there's kind of just a community within saying that. Because my teacher's like talking about it all the time. She's like, oh my god, that's amazing. So, sure. I mean, that kind of like takes me to my next question of how'd you do medicine and like such like rigorous coursework with playing sport? Because I feel like me going into like seeing people getting recruited and stuff like that, I feel like that's like the biggest question when people go to camps is like, how are you doing medicine and you're on the softball team, or like how are you doing law and on the softball team? So how did you guys do it?
Honestly, I kind of want to say I had a head start in high school. I got my associate's degree before I graduated high school.
Oh, like online school?
Yeah, so I took dual credit courses. I think I started 9th grade summer, and I took them all throughout high school. So I came into Union with about 2 years under my belt. Of course, they didn't take every credit. Yeah. But I feel like that helped a little more. I took all the general courses beforehand. So I came in. It was tough. Being a bio major, I feel like any STEM major. I'm not, I'm not knocking any business or education, but STEM is like
probably animals for sure.
All I can say that helped me was just time management and just keeping a planner and writing things down. Yeah. That's what helps me. I think I have a little bit of OCD anyway, so I like to keep things in place, but just my biggest advice is just time management. I know times that were hard. We had 6 a.m. waits. Yeah. Then I had to go to work. Then I had to go to class. But I just feel like it's really time management. If you have a paper due. And a lot of the professors outline what's due before the school. before the semester.
Yeah.
So you know, okay, this test or this paper is due, things like that. Just time management is really the biggest thing as a student athlete with any major.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Use the office hours that the professors give you.
That's what I've heard.
I feel like that's the main thing to keep your GPA up.
Yeah.
See your professor.
Yeah.
Get familiar with them before. Let them know you're an athlete ahead of time.
Yeah.
Please let them know you're an athlete ahead of time.
Yeah.
So that way they can give you a little. I'm not gonna say they're gonna let you slide, but they'll give you a little leeway. Like, okay, she has practice or things of that nature. Just really get comfortable with them. Let them know you're an athlete, but you're also a great student first. Like.
What I've heard is like, especially in larger classes, like getting yourself personable to the teacher and like being like, but I guess VU is small enough, like you guys said.
Thankfully, we did not have that.
Yeah.
But my sister, she went to UVA, and she told me her class sizes were crazy.
Yeah.
And the best thing she did was go to their office hours.
Yeah. My brother went to UVA and UCLA, so like just a mix of.
Yes.
The biggest, I don't even know what to say.
UCLA is huge.
Yeah, but that's what he said, to just office hours. Because then that gives you so much room to just, like, because most of the time in office hours, they said that, I mean, this kind of works in high school too, but the teacher will literally be like, oh, this is how I grade. Like, do this, and this, and you'll get 100. So I feel like that's the key to success.
Yeah, just got to build a relationship.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Do you guys have any crazy stories? Like crazy college stories you guys reminisce on?
I'm trying to. We had such a great time. I don't really think my stories were really crazy. I was really closed off. I come from a strict household when I was growing up, so I couldn't really go to parties. I couldn't. It was softball school. I had to get straight A's. If I got a B, my phone was getting taken.
Oh, really?
So it was really like, I really don't think I have any.
Yeah, I don't have any like.
We weren't
crazy
like
stories.
the movie where you see colleges buck wild and all that. I don't think we were really
Coach
like
Diamond,
that.
you definitely got something. I know it.
Well, not the thing. 5 years ago.
I know Coach B definitely has something. Bro, she's talking sometimes.
I don't know if the things are YouTube appropriate.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
But no, I don't know. I mean, we had a lot of team bonding activities. You know, we would, cook together.
Yeah.
That was back, my younger years there.
TikToks together.
Yeah, we would make TikTok videos.
Okay.
She would be choreographed.
She
would yell at us every night until we got the dance. I think it was just, my fun experience was really like, I got to like go to Georgia for the first time playing softball.
Traveling.
I would say that.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun going to different states. I really don't have crazy stories.
Okay.
There were fun times like homecoming.
Yeah.
I feel like
homecoming in college?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Homecoming every college.
Every college. Yeah. So I feel like homecoming we don't have like a dance like you would have in school, but it's a whole week of activities. I remember sophomore year they canceled class the whole week.
Yeah. Bro,
so we had Sunday through Sunday, no class.
Okay.
You wake up, everybody's outside on the yard, food, music, everything. It's just fun all week.
Yeah.
So I feel like homecoming.
Homecoming is at an HBCU or a different level though. I would say like at PWIs it's not as important. Yeah. But like it's a whole ordeal at every single HBCU.
Really?
So,
you have to come back every year. Like you'll see people that graduated 50 years ago still come back every homecoming. They get a hotel. They stay the whole week.
Oh,
it's a big thing. It's really
so
like
they
a
have
tradition.
like an itinerary of like what to do in the day.
For sure. Networking events, parties, like galas, stuff like that.
Oh wow.
It's really like it's really like raising money for the school, honestly, and then just camaraderie,
like a big reunion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that's probably the most fun I've had at union was.
Is it led by like sororities and fraternities, or
not like led? It's just led by the school, really. I mean, the school just sets a date. Like, here's a homecoming football game, and then the events are the week, leading up to the game, and then the tailgate. And then Sunday they may have like a brunch or something.
Yeah.
But
they do have like it wouldn't be called like a homecoming committee, but they have a club that's in charge of like the activities that are run at the school. Because there are activities that are run throughout the year. Yeah. Like not only the fraternities, sororities, have events. Other organizations or just groups at the school throw events throughout the year. So.
Right. Okay. So I mean, does the homecoming and you guys have more dances, right? Or you have more events? I mean, there's homecoming and do you have a prom? like equivalent?
No.
Oh, just
No.
Homecoming.
We had like a sneaker ball.
We had that. Like a gala.
Yeah.
You just wear sneakers and a dress.
Oh,
Yeah.
But no, you really don't have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you join certain clubs, a lot of clubs have different parties and events that they throw tailored to whatever
Yeah.
club it is. But
Okay. I mean, is VU football good? To
Yeah.
like, oh, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they
win a
actually
lot?
went. They won the championship this year. They actually went all the way to Georgia, but they lost.
Oh.
But they got to the like D2 tournament.
Yeah,
or whatever it's
yeah.
called.
They won that year before too.
Mhm, they were back to back.
So I don't know how football works, but like they have their own conference. It's just like softball, right? Like,
We're all the CIAA, yeah.
Okay.
But if you're ranked high enough
Mhm.
in all of D2, you can play. So let's say even if they lost CIAA championship, if they were ranked high enough, they could still continue to play in the D2, national championship.
I mean, but the conferences all compete against each other. Like you conference champion, and then the next level is
National.
national.
Mhm.
Oh, but then still national is ranked by D1, D2, D3.
Yeah, so there's like a
Okay.
D2 national championship, D1 national
okay.
championship, things like
Oh,
that.
so they went all the way to the D2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They went pretty far, but they did
I didn't know
lose to
VU had
Georgia.
good football like that.
They're
Wow.
pretty decent
Yeah.
lately, yeah.
Okay.
They've been really good.
What's the farthest you guys went in softball?
Georgia.
Or I mean, like conference. How do you like?
No,
No.
we didn't
No.
even make that.
We didn't. Have we ever made it?
No.
Yeah, no.
We've never
Really?
made it.
Never
We've
made
never
it.
made it. I believe COVID year we were going to, but COVID came and had to stop
yeah.
playing. But that was probably the year we would have went all the way after.
I mean,
Yeah.
how did VU go about the COVID year? Because I know different schools in that.
I was so sad that year.
It was like we had a spring practice, and they were like, "Oh, you guys have spring break for like another week."
Yeah,
Oh,
we had practice
Mhm.
that spring, and then we went to your house.
Yeah,
we
yeah, I
went
invited
to
them
stay
to my
with
house in
her in
Virginia
Virginia
Beach,
Beach for the
yeah.
weekend
Oh,
for our
yeah.
spring break, because Coach gave us only a couple days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Another thing too, when you're a college athlete, you probably won't have any breaks.
Yeah.
All
that's
that
what I heard.
spring break, Thanksgiving, Christmas. No.
No, you got practice.
But she gave us I think like 2 or 3 days, so we
Mhm.
all went to Ari's house, Virginia Beach. It was
Mhm.
fun. We come back,
Mhm.
and I think they tell us spring break's extended or whatever. But I was still on campus, and then that's when we got messages on our phone like the first COVID cases at VCU. Like,
Like,
and
what's
then
COVID?
everything was
First of all?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then everything was shut down.
Yeah.
Everything. So everybody had to pack up and leave.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
I mean, that
At
was
least
like
if we were
my-
still there.
Oh yeah. That was my thing. 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
Whoa.
Sixth
Yeah, but it was just like extended
Gosh.
spring break, and then we just never went back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you guys do the online stuff or no?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
You
it was
did.
online. They did give athletes the option to come back.
Oh,
Which
you
I
guys
did.
I came back.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like I would say it was like a bubble.
Yeah,
It was just the only people you saw on campus were athletes.
Mhm.
Because some teams.
but that's 85% of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
it was still fun.
Yeah.
Some teams were still playing, I feel like.
I don't know. We definitely weren't.
Softball was
Yeah.
done for us, but other schools were still playing softball. I remember
Oh.
watching, like, when we came back around.
I mean, how does that work protocol wise? I mean, does that
I
not?
guess it's all depending on what the school
It's
wants
the
to do.
school, yeah.
Or like,
Okay.
what's best for the conference.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, HBCUs are private, right?
Not all of them.
Okay,
But
VU
Union
is
was,
private.
yeah.
Because I mean, if you're private, you can just do whatever you want,
Literally,
basically.
they can make their own
Especially if you
rules.
have your own funding. Like that's what's happening with like Harvard and stuff right now.
Mhm.
Because like the budget cuts and stuff, it doesn't make sense to me. Because especially with like a school like Harvard that has such big alumni,
Yeah.
they don't need the funds,
Mhm.
but like
Mhm.
it still works both ways. But so what are you guys doing right now, job wise? Because I know you work at a doctor's office.
She's a doctor.
She's a
Yeah.
doctor.
I am a certified IV pharmacy technician at
Okay.
VCU Hospital. So basically, I just work in the pharmacy and I compound the IV bags that you see in the rooms.
Mhm.
I just compound all those.
Okay. Compound meaning like pack them.
I
like
actually
together?
make the bag.
Oh.
So
okay.
let's say you're pregnant and you need an IV of a vitamin or
Mhm.
something like that. I prepare the bag
Oh wow.
in
okay.
a sterile environment and
Mhm.
then it gets sent up to the room.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Coach, alright, I know you do something pretty cool. I don't know if you're. Are Are you allowed to say?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just gonna keep it the official title.
Okay.
I mean, so my official title is a scientist at the Naval Surface Warfare Center.
Okay.
But I do data analysis there, basically just protecting our warfighter, which is basically just our fleet of ships for the Navy. So I work directly with the Navy, but I'm not in the Navy. Basically just I work in like defense, Department of Defense, but I'm defending like all of us. So like with the work that I do.
Is it heavy now with all of the?
Yes, deadlines have definitely just they're just ramping up. But I mean, like the overall mission, like everything's intense. Yeah. You know, this is just another thing that we have to do. But I would just say, more stuff is on our radar for us to do. Yeah. But I'm not swamped. Right. But like it's definitely when the overall mission of it, like when you understand it, like you should be producing things at a faster pace anyway, because you're saving sailors' lives essentially. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Okay.
And then Coach Diamond, like the work that you do, is that pro bono from the hospital? Like is that stuff that I mean, especially in the VCU area, is there a lot of pro bono work going around?
Honestly, I just feel like, I don't know how to word this. I feel like any pharmacy technician in the hospital is really like, we're like the foundation of the hospital, because without the medication or the drugs, there would be no. Right. But. And
is that something you like have to study, like the pharmacy?
No, you could literally. So the way it started for me, I was working at Walgreens as just a cashier. And they were looking for pharmacy technicians. I was not planning on being a pharmacy tech. I was playing softball in school, working at Walgreens like 4 hours a day. But I was able to get my pharmacy tech license while working at Walgreens. They pay for it. They teach you everything. And just working there and gaining experience, I was able to get a connect at the hospital. And that just helped me move up even more. But I was not planning on being a pharmacy technician at all. Yeah.
I mean, being a college athlete kind of puts you, I mean, most jobs recruit from college athletes. So, like, did that give you guys a boost at all, you think?
They just look at, like, at my job, I mean, it's pretty much math, engineering, STEM, everything besides bio, like, is what they look for in STEM.
But you're mostly
bio.
They have a bio center, bio warfare in Maryland, so,
it's kind of far.
Well, I mean, if you're really
Maryland's nice. I miss Maryland. Most of my softball team's out of Maryland, so we're kind of up there a lot, but
nice.
Would you ever move up there?
It kind of is on one of my 3 places where I want to move.
Really?
So.
Okay.
For me, it's either Colorado or Dallas.
Why?
If I could afford Cali, then just because there's a big tech scene. So like there's a lot more job opportunities and things to do.
What would you pursue if you weren't doing what you're doing right now?
So I'm getting my master's in data analytics right now. So I just literally just be a data analyst somewhere else. So, but I mean, honestly, my dream before.
Wait, so you're in data analysis right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting, like how it works. But
so no big red button.
They're gonna keep saying that. Right?
There is no big red button. But like my original dream was to be pre-med.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized like that's a lot of school, and I'm good at school.
Yeah.
But it's just like that's a lot of loans racked up.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see the vision at the end.
Yeah.
And I also don't have an example, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna change because this is not for me.
Right.
But I feel like if I had an example in my family and maybe they had some funds to help me out, then I'd probably pursue it. Okay. But like me being on my own, that was not an option for me.
Yeah.
So
is there no way to, do your 5th year with VU and like still get that scholarship?
I mean, I have a year eligibility at VU.
Yeah.
But I'm not playing there. I mean, like.
Okay.
I don't need it anymore.
Okay.
If I were to lose my job, maybe. I mean, this master's is covered anyway. I don't need funding.
Oh, really?
So
through your scholarship?
No, through Virginia Tuition Assistance Grant.
Oh.
So they give like private schools in Virginia like scholarships to go take master's programs basically.
Okay.
So Union offered like bio, public or health science. What is it? Public health and data analytics for free for a graduate student. So,
oh wow! Yeah. And this is all graduate students. You don't need to apply or anything.
Yeah, you have to apply
Oh,
still.
okay.
They need to fill out the form, you send it to them,
Okay.
but then they end up covering it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, interesting. And then Coach Simon, if you didn't do what you're doing right now, or I mean, if you wanted to go deeper in, what would you?
I really want to be a biomedical scientist. Originally, when I was really little, I wanted to be a lawyer, go to Harvard, all of that.
I saw your Harvard sweatpants one day.
Love Harvard. That plan changed around high school. I wanted to be a forensic medical examiner. That changed in college.
Wait,
now,
why did you change from wanting to go to Harvard?
I still wanted to go to Harvard.
Okay.
I applied, of course. I did not get in. But I just realized that law was just something I wasn't interested in.
Okay.
I think I toured a college in a program I was in high school, and I really was interested in just science, and STEM.
Yeah.
That really shifted me to want to be a medical examiner. Then I was like, I don't think I can see a dead body. And then if I see a dead kid on the table, I'm gonna cry, just thinking about all that.
Yeah.
So then working in medicine, that's really where I found my passion. Like, I want to stay in medicine.
Yeah.
So I just really want to study the effects of medicine on us. Like, why does this medication turn your pee yellow?
Yeah.
Why does this medication make you swell?
Yeah.
So I really want to go into that field.
Have you ever thought about like hallucinogens and like the effects of like LSD and stuff on people? Is that something that is in the pharmaceutical?
It is. It's all on big pharma, but I don't want to go that route.
Okay.
I want to go more so like the medications that most of us take on a daily basis. Because to me, I don't understand how we can take 10 medications every day and they all have adverse effects with each other. And you're still expected to take them every day. And you're not getting better. Your blood pressure is still high. You know? So I really just want to dig deep into understanding.
Yeah. Have you done research in that field?
When I was at Union, no.
Okay.
Because I just recently really got into medicine heavy when I got the job at the hospital. But no.
Okay. I mean, you guys both did papers, or what were your papers on? Or like if you were passionate about them.
I did so many things. Like I would say for me, more like medical physics and working on like proton beam like lasers.
Oh wow.
But like I didn't get to dive into that how I wanted to because like softball got in the way, honestly. So I just did basics of the research. But like I had internships in different things like each summer, or like I always got into something different because I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with physics. But I was like, okay, this looks interesting. Let me try it. Let me see if I like it. And then I would just keep hip hopping. And then
what's the basics of learning about lasers though? Like what does that mean?
Like I didn't do like I wasn't into like the materials of the laser.
Okay.
I know like I could bend lasers with mirrors to hit a target or something like that. You know, like for that like. Medical physics is really like working on MRI machines to target like different cancers. So like you shoot a laser at a mass, you know, to try to kill it basically to get the cancer out of the body. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Coach Simon, what was your research mostly?
Not that interesting. Most of the courses I took were basic. Like I took basic physics. I didn't have to go deep into physics. So I really didn't have as many papers as I just had basic, like one on Alzheimer's. I was doing a project with the plant science professor. We were growing like leafy vegetables around the area, just seeing the effects of those. But my papers were not as interesting. Just regular science.
Honestly, those are pretty interesting though, because I mean, especially when you tie in like local needs, and like honestly, your topic is really interesting to me, just because that's like something that's so basic, but nobody really knows about it. Like having to take 10 medications and like them building on one another to like actually helping. That's one that's targeted towards communities in Richmond. I feel like.
I feel like it's like medical greed, honestly.
Yeah,
like, it's all for money.
Big pharma.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's why I really wanna.
Well, how would you? Are you planning on tackling it?
Yeah, I am planning on going back to get my PhD. So that'll really be mostly what I'll really try to cover.
Okay.
Like branch off into pharmacology and toxicology.
Yeah.
When I get it.
Okay. I mean, is there like a way to go about tackling big pharma though?
Never. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it's expanding. Like it was back then. medicine wasn't really, but now you see they have the Wegovy, Ozempic. It's getting crazy. So I don't think so.
You don't think so? You said it's just gonna take over. You think?
I mean, all you can do is bring awareness.
Yeah,
if you don't have big pockets,
I
you
can't
do
really.
much.
It's gonna take a lot.
I feel
it's gonna
like
take
right
years
now,
to really.
Yeah, I feel like that right now there is like this whole stigma against big business though, because Trump kind of stands for big business in a sense, which is honestly kind of interesting to me because also RFK Jr.'s policy and stuff like that, it just goes against one another. But because he stands for big business, there's so much I guess like conspiracy around that. So like people are like thinking about it more than they were before, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely coming out more. Yeah. Now that he's pushing for it.
I mean, I don't even think he's pushing. Do you think he's pushing for it?
I wouldn't say pushing, but
for like big business.
Yeah.
I think for sure he's pushing for it because it's not like. I mean, didn't he get rid of like small business loans? Like it's gonna be harder for small businesses
the
to get
hospitals.
Started.
My mom actually just told me the hospital back home where I'm from is about to close down.
Really?
So I mean, the nearest hospital would be 30 to 45 minutes away. So if you're in dire need of something, you're just gonna.
Rural hospitals are closing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like people should just start stuff. Like start like local, like not hospitals, but like local like care centers.
It's hard when you don't have the funding though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these places have got grants. Like I know I'm from a rural community, so we have a lot of, you could call it mom and pop, I don't really know, but you have a lot of these places that are run by people in the area.
Yeah.
That some of them get grants from the government. I was in a program when I was younger, after school programs, they got grants from the government. But now,
Elon cut those government programs
so now,
grants out.
So now 10 years later, here I am, that organization's, diminishing because they don't have that grant anymore.
Yeah.
So it's hard for people to start these if they don't have any funding. Like it's really hard to start from scratch right now.
Yeah.
Buy these properties when there's so much money.
Yeah.
And you just don't have the funding. Yeah.
You think people would step up? I mean, like people from other communities coming to these more rural communities.
It would take that, but a lot of these people voted for that man.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's pretty hard.
That's
and everybody. At least where I'm from, it is pro-Trump. So they're definitely probably not gonna worry about until it affects them.
Yeah.
Until it affects now the farms. When I was because a lot of where I'm from is just cornfields and things of that nature. So all of that agriculture and things of that nature, you shut down these mom and pops. You don't have anywhere to sell your produce. Right. So once it hits them at home, then maybe they'll.
I mean, I feel like it's hitting them right now.
It will.
It's about to. For sure.
The hospital closed down and the nearest one is 30 to 40 minutes away.
Everybody from back home works at the hospital too. Like everybody I went to high school with are nurses. Oh. That's the only career you can have back home is a nurse or a teacher, really.
Oh, really?
So majority of my classmates are working at the hospital.
So I mean, like they're just unemployed now.
Eventually, they're letting them know that that hospital is on the list to be closed down.
Oh my god, that's insane. Do they know what they're gonna do now, or is
they're gonna have to move?
They're gonna have to
big city.
Move?
They're gonna have to. The closest hospital is Norfolk from where I'm from. That's an hour.
That's a while away. Yeah. Oh wow, that's insane.
It's getting pretty bad.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, being a college athlete, does that give you a sense of support now? Like, if you were in that situation, you were a college athlete too. Is that something you could like bounce back to? Like your college athlete community? Because I feel like me going into the recruiting process and stuff like that, that's one of the biggest things I'm looking for. Just like a school with community in the college athletics. Because I don't want to, I mean, like if I could get into a really good school and just go to a really good school, I think that's a great option for me. But like being a college athlete at a really good school, I think it puts you in a niche group that, especially in times like these, you have like a group to call out and a group to be like, hey, look, I need help.
It's hard to find something like that if you're not in it.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful sentiment. But honestly, you never know what you're getting into until you get there.
Yeah.
It can look like peaches and cream when they're recruiting you, and it can be something totally different when you get there.
Yeah. Right.
But I wouldn't say ours was so close knit, but if I did have to reach back out to someone in athletics, there are a couple people that would definitely be there for me if I needed to.
Yeah.
And not even just a softball coach. It could be like the football coach, the athletic directors, trainers, things like that. So
Okay.
It's a couple.
And I feel like being a coach for a high school team also, I feel like you're building your own community in that sense too. Just because I know all these girls would reach out to you guys, especially on our team, if need be in a situation like that.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question would be, what has coaching brought you? Like coaching like a high school team in specific, like perspective, like what has it brought you?
I'll go first because mine's kind of short. I've been here for a season. I would say patience for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not. We're not that much older than y'all, but you guys are definitely a different generation.
Oh, for sure.
When it comes to work ethic, when it comes to respect.
Yeah.
Like there's certain.
What do you like? Do we have just different standards?
Different standards, like. I don't know. I feel like older generation, like you guys' generation, like I'm not saying this is about your team or anything, but the whole generation, I'm just noticing like a trend of like disrespect, selfishness, and not wanting to be part of the team, only caring about yourself. So trying to break that with y'all in that short amount of time is very difficult.
Right.
But I guess that's that's kind
of. So. Growing up, I said I would never coach, ever.
I'm like kind of the same way.
Because
I don't think I could ever.
I told myself I would never coach. I got asked back home to help my sister coach my high school. I kept telling her no. But the Virginia Union coach that's there now, Dominique, she reached out to me and was like, hey, Maggie Walker, needs a coach, and I needed somebody. I recommended you. Paige got back to me within a day. We talked on the phone. Yeah. And she gave me the job. She was like, I heard some things about you. I guess she did her homework. Asked around things of that nature. But really my goal was just to come in because Paige was, telling me about you guys' past and how, a lot of you weren't loving softball anymore, things like that. So I just really wanted to come back and just help you guys regain your passion and me as well. Right. Because senior year was a little rocky for me. Yeah. So I felt like just coming back, really trying to find that passion, that love for softball again. Yeah. It did teach me patience. Yeah. Because I'm not a patient person at all, but it really taught me patience. It taught me how can I word this? Properly communicate with others in a professional manner. Yeah.
Or people who haven't been coached, like how you were coached. Like feel like there's a lot of feelings. There's a lot more sensitivity.
I had to. The way I was coached was way different. My dad was. He was something. He was never my coach.
Having a parent coach just.
He was never my coach, but he's your coach. Every softball game, I couldn't hear anybody in the stands but him. It was days we were growing up. We were at the park, sun up to sundown, just hitting ground balls, getting yelled at, hitting ground balls. You gotta catch them. He didn't care if it hit you. You gotta catch it. Yeah. So coming from that, and then my high school basketball coach, not even softball, he was something else. Yelled at you. Yeah. Through clipboards. It was a lot. Yeah. So coming from that to you guys and having to just switch up, how I was coached. And learn like the Maggie Walker way, I would say. That really took a lot. So the first year was like a learning experience for me when I coached you guys the first year. And getting the feedback from the parents, getting the feedback from Paige, and really changing around to like, okay, this is how Maggie Walker is run. But I can also bring some structure. Yeah. I can also bring, some rules, some responsibility because all in all, we don't want to mold you just for athletes. We want to mold you as for life, outside of softball. Right. So when you go into the real world, you know how to communicate, time management, responsibility. Right. So that way when you're out on your own, you'll be fine. So that was really just the hardest part.
I've never had like a tough coach like that, but I feel like that's something that every athlete or like every person needs at some point.
You do need it, but like you also have to be receptive. Yes. And I feel like
it's all about like right time. I think. Yeah. Because like if you start a tough coach at the wrong time, that could like that can mess you up. Yeah. But I feel like that's something especially like kids or athletes in my generation, like you just need somebody to push you sometimes. I feel like you guys had that pretty well, but I feel like that's something Maggie Walker could use on all aspects.
I was not even. I did 10% of what I wanted to do.
Oh, you have plans?
Yeah, I want to push you guys to be better. I really do, but sometimes we have to. Start off a little slow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of your teammates, never played before.
Yeah.
So it was hard to orchestrate a practice.
Right.
When. Like 4 corners, it was hard to really get it how I wanted it to be clean when some of them are just learning how to catch the ball.
I think that's a big problem in like Richmond city sports, I think, or like any city sports, because you have people coming from like all different like stages of a sport. But I feel like that pushing aspect that could be used for more like travel in that sense of like all of these kids want to achieve something, so like now you're teaching them how to be tough for something like that. But I feel like Maggie Walker and like city schools, it's more about like extracurriculars.
Yeah, they're just here for fun.
Yeah,
I had to learn that because the first year I was there, I was like, they just lost a game, and y'all are. I'm like, I look at Coach B like, are they happy they just lost?
And then I used to be like, Diamond, just calm down.
And I'm like, oh my. Then I had to realize a lot of them. They don't want to do this after high school. A lot of them, this is their outlet. We don't know what goes on at home. And they're having a ball out here. So I had to tell myself, like, relax. Some of them are just.
Was it like that for you guys in high school? Or were you guys more competitive?
We had to win.
You had to
win. I had 3 state championship rings in high school.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We had to win. Like, we were, in our district, we were undefeated almost every year. Of course, when we went up, it was pretty hard. But districts, we won districts almost every year. We were.
But we were a baseball and softball at school, so like it was very competitive. We had hundreds of people trying out. It's super competitive.
We had cuts for sure. And it was real cuts. It was first day you're out. Like,
you're late to practice. Oh, you're off the team.
Yeah, it was. It was.
What are you missing practice for? You missing practice for some BS? You're off the team.
Like it was run like
the military.
That's good though.
That's how all sports were at my. Well, not really field hockey. But all the sports at my high school were like that. Like tryouts were really like cutthroat.
Yeah, I want to say like the closest for that. I mean, I went to Moody. I don't know if you guys know about Moody, but Moody's in Lakeside, and I was in the IB program. So it's like it's literally like 50 Indian kids, and then the rest of the school are like zone kids. So even there, it wasn't like competitive. Like I've never been in a school where like sports were extremely competitive, and maybe I guess the closest for Maggie Walker is probably like soccer. I mean, we used to be pretty good at volleyball, but I mean, I think that kind of fell off after a few of our seniors graduated. But
I wouldn't even say it. Like I'd say it's like honestly an East Coast thing. Like lately, like softball talent has gone down drastically.
Yes.
You think?
Yes.
I went to some travel ball tournaments out here, and I'm like, this is 18U.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just here.
I think
I feel like other states like.
West Coast
is
dominating.
always good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just the East Coast.
What I noticed is Virginia went up, or like at least from what I've seen, Virginia went up in like the amount of kids playing softball. So like more kids play travel in national level than they do like local. So like now when I go to like Colorado and these like bigger tournaments, I see more Virginia kids than I did before, which I think in that sense it grew, but like maybe like locally we're not as competitive. Because it used to be a pretty local thing, like because nobody like really went on to like the national level. Everybody, like all the really good kids were just like local and like competing against one another, getting better. But then now that everybody's like on the bigger stage, it's like there's less talent.
That makes sense.
But I guess I think keeping it local is a pretty good way to go about it too. I mean, especially when you guys were growing up, like I feel like, I mean, 2 different environments for sure, but so many more of you guys committed, I think, or like stayed with the sport.
For sure. We had a lot of girls, at least on my travel team. They didn't go to my high school, but a lot of girls did commit. But a lot of them really didn't take softball all the way.
Oh, really?
Like I kind of noticed that back home. It was like 2 of us that really like stayed. D2 and really like kept going. We only had a couple D1 because I'm from like rural. Like, nobody really goes D1 from back home.
More people from rural areas do. Like you don't think so?
Not from where I'm from. We all went D2. I think we had one person go Division 1. But other than that, everybody was
softball
JUCO in D2.
Softball especially is like has always, or I mean, from what I've seen, is a pretty rural sport. You know, like I feel like less kids in this, like especially like, kids from New York. Like
Oh yeah.
I feel like kids from California, kids from Florida are like way better than kids from New York, East
Yeah,
Coast.
for sure.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's like a city issue too. There's no
Yeah.
space for fields,
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. But even
And,
being
yeah.
in Virginia, it's like kids from like Chesterfield are way better than kids from Henrico.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
this was
really appreciate your
great.
time.
This was great.
Thank you. Do you guys like the setup?
It's
yeah,
really
I was
good.
just thinking about. I was like,
Nice and
green.
homey.
Yeah,
My
that's
room
what
is
I-
green, so I was like,
I
love
wanted
this.
I wanted red curtains, but
Oh.
we're working on it.
I think I have a Christmas vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.